Above the Pacific Ocean, a superstorm turns the sea into a vast field of power. Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, the storm turns the coral world into a fortress of survival.
From above, the storm appears almost alive, shaping the surface of the ocean with relentless force. For the smallest fish, every coral branch becomes a wall against the moving sea. At the surface of the Pacific, wind, rain, and waves merge into one moving body. Yet beneath this chaos, another world is waiting in the sea below.
The storm reaches the bottom as moving sand, and the seafloor becomes a place of constant change.
The superstorm rules the surface, but the ocean beneath it is beginning to respond. To understand this storm, we must follow it below the waves.
When the Pacific grows restless, the strongest shelter is often found beneath the reef itself.
Below the storm, the sea is still restless, filled with noise, motion, and pressure.
The same storm that threatens the reef also sends food through its hidden corridors.
The superstorm above reshapes the first layers of the ocean, stirring everything in its reach. Inside the storm-dark reef, the old balance of hunter and hidden prey continues. Even before the reef appears, life in the Pacific Ocean is already adapting to the force above. Beneath the raging surface, the hidden life of the Pacific is just beginning to come into view. This reef is not only surviving the Pacific storm, it is using every shape, shelter, and current to stay alive. Farther below the storm, the Pacific begins to reveal the lives that endure beneath the violence above. Within the coral, the smallest spaces become the strongest protection. The reef is not a single shelter, but thousands of shelters joined together by the sea. The ocean floor is not untouched by the storm. It feels the force as current, pressure, and shifting light. When the storm presses down from above, even the smallest fish know where safety begins. Some fish survive the moving water by holding still in the right place. Every surge from above sends another signal through the reef. The reef becomes a fortress, and every crevice in the sea becomes a refuge.
On the seafloor, survival can mean staying low, staying still, and letting the storm pass overhead.
In the sand, the storm turns every open doorway into a risk. Beneath the superstorm, even sight becomes uncertain. Each species answers the storm in its own way, anchoring, hiding, or yielding to the current. The storm can be felt as a rhythm in the water, and the reef responds to every shift. Not every survivor moves quickly. Some endure by holding their place.
Even in the middle of a superstorm, the ocean still contains places of relative calm.
Even fragile forms can become shelter when the ocean begins to move with force.
Some creatures do not flee the storm. They wait inside the reef and let the sea bring the world to them.
Behind the moving coral, the reef hides quiet rooms for those small enough to enter. Below the storming Pacific, a hidden world is already adapting, enduring, and waiting for the next surge from above. The coral reef beneath the Pacific storm is a maze of pressure, shelter, and living response.
Beneath the Pacific storm, The reef becomes a shelter shaped by pressure, current, and instinct.
Inside this reef maze, every creature depends on the shape of the ocean around it.
When the water grows stronger, the reef becomes a shelter of narrow spaces.
Every branch of coral becomes a narrow refuge when the ocean above is in chaos.
The reef wall becomes a living shield against the restless sea.
In rough water, even a short crossing becomes a decision. On the seafloor, the safest creature may be the one that almost disappears. The storm changes the seafloor, but some lives survive by becoming almost invisible. Under the storm, every open crossing becomes a test of timing. For some creatures beneath the waves, stillness is the strongest defense. The hidden animals of the reef survive the storm by holding to the ocean's strongest edges. The storm turns the coral chamber into both a hiding place and a feeding ground. The reef does not fight every force. It bends, absorbs, and waits.
Even during the storm, the small services of the reef continue in hidden corners.
Even a storm can carry food through the sea, turning danger into opportunity. The storm changes the water, but the ancient balance of the reef remains. In the shelter of the reef, hunters and hunted share the same storm. Every shelter in the reef belongs to a larger system of pressure, hunger, and protection.
Below the superstorm, the Pacific is not silent. It is a living world responding to pressure from above.
The reef has become a living refuge, but the Pacific storm is still pushing deeper through the sea.
The Pacific storm is still reaching downward, turning every coral corridor into a test of survival. The storm above continues to press into the sea, and every hidden life below must answer. Inside the reef, the smallest spaces become the safest rooms in the ocean. In the smallest openings of the ocean floor, survival is measured in seconds. Tiny creatures beneath the waves read the current through touch before they dare to move. The reef is built from countless hiding places, each one shaped by the sea. Beneath the storm, the ocean floor opens and closes like a restless, hidden world. When the water changes, cooperation becomes another form of shelter. The young lives of the reef gather tightly when the sea becomes unpredictable. When the sea becomes unstable, even the smallest partnership must work faster. The reef holds many kinds of strength, from gripping arms to hidden claws.
Some creatures survive the storm by becoming part of the reef itself.
In rough water, disguise is not only a trick, it is a way to endure. The storm turns danger into food, but only for those quick enough to risk the open sea. Even the moving corals become shelter when the storm pushes through the sea. In the storm-dark reef, camouflage becomes a silent form of patience. The storm changes the rhythm of the reef, but the ancient tension between hunter and hidden prey remains. The reef guides them through the storm, one protected passage at a time. Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, every hidden creature becomes part of one living response. Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, the coral reef survives as one connected refuge of movement, pressure, and life. Below the Pacific Superstorm, the sea becomes a test of shelter, instinct, and endurance. Inside the reef, survival is shared by every creature that can find shelter from the moving sea. In unstable water, moving together becomes the safest shape in the ocean.
The storm makes the open water dangerous, and the reef answers with hidden rooms.
What looks like a wall is really a crowded world holding itself against the current. The storm changes the water, and every fish answers with motion. For larger animals, the same current that threatens the small can become a path through the sea. On the storm-dark seafloor, hiding can mean becoming part of the sand. The ocean covers some lives so completely that survival becomes almost invisible. Near the seafloor, survival depends less on speed and more on holding ground. Even larger, calmer lives of the Pacific choose shelter when the sea above becomes violent. Beneath the ledge, many small lives wait together while the storm moves above them. The storm carries food through the reef, but every meal must be taken between pulses of danger. The storm brings danger, but it also carries food through the hidden corridors of the sea. In the shadowed reef, the octopus survives by reading the sea through touch. Every opportunity beneath the storm lasts only until the next surge arrives. The reef holds both refuge and danger, and the storm brings them closer together. Inside the reef, the storm is measured through pressure, shadow, and the behavior of every neighbor. Beneath the raging Pacific, every creature is connected by the same force moving through the sea. Under the Pacific Superstorm, the reef becomes one living refuge, where every hidden life depends on the sea around it. The Pacific Reef holds its life close, turning every surface into protection beneath the storm. Below the storm, the Pacific Ocean is not broken, it is alive, adjusting with every pulse of the sea. The reef becomes a sanctuary, holding fragile lives against the force above. The smallest fish survive by trusting the narrow architecture of the reef. Inside the reef wall, the sea hides entire lives smaller than a shadow. For the youngest lives in the ocean, survival begins inside the smallest spaces. The seafloor changes with every pulse, hiding and revealing its smallest doors. Predator and prey share the same shelter when the sea becomes stronger than either of them. The storm writes its force through the water, and the reef answers with movement. In the smallest partnerships of the ocean, warning and work become survival. Beneath the coral ledge, different lives share one shelter against the moving sea. Even beneath a superstorm, the ocean hides quiet spaces where life can wait. Some lives survive by moving with the sea, and others survive by becoming almost invisible. The storm brings food through the reef, but every brief meal comes with risk. This hidden world beneath the Pacific storm is built from instinct, shelter, and connection. The octopus reads the storm through the stone, waiting for the sea to loosen its grip. Even in the storm, the reef keeps its ancient balance between patience and escape. Above, the storm still rules the waves. Below, the ocean's hidden life continues to endure. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef survives because every hidden life has found a place within the sea. This is only the first descent beneath the Pacific superstorm. Deeper in the reef, every creature must find its place against the pressure of the sea.
The first descent continues, and the Pacific Ocean reveals that survival beneath a storm is never still.
Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, shelter is not one place, but a whole living structure shaped by the sea. For the smallest fish, the reef becomes a maze designed for survival. Far below the waves, even light from the storm becomes part of the reef's warning system. The storm reaches downward not as wind, but as pressure, current, and moving sand. Every surface of the reef holds smaller lives, waiting for the sea to calm. The sand beneath the storm is never still. It hides and reveals life with every passing current. In the smallest homes of the sea, partnership can become the difference between danger and survival. Every hidden creature has its own answer to the same force moving through the ocean. In this unstable sea, even the smallest home must be repaired against the storm. Under the ledge, the reef becomes a shared shelter for many different kinds of life. Under the storm, the distance between shelters becomes a challenge measured in heartbeats. The storm pushes food through the reef, and every hidden creature must decide when to risk the open water. The octopus survives by becoming part of the reef while the storm passes above.
The same current that threatens the reef also carries food through its hidden passages.
In the darkness of the reef, the octopus becomes both witness and survivor. Beneath the Pacific storm, no life stands alone. Every creature is tied to the shape of the sea around it. The storm may disturb the water, but the reef still holds its old rules of waiting and distance. The first descent has only opened the storm's hidden world. Deeper in the reef, the Pacific will reveal how life endures under pressure.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the coral terrace becomes one living refuge, where every hidden life depends on every shape around it.
The Pacific storm keeps pushing through the reef, and every passage becomes a place of decision. Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, the storm becomes a hidden pressure moving through every passage of the sea. Inside the coral, the youngest lives wait for the moving sea to give them a safer moment. The ocean floor changes moment by moment, reshaped by a storm that never touches it directly. The reef wall holds life by giving each creature a different grip on survival. For the smallest reef walkers, survival means holding fast to anything the sea cannot easily move.
The reef bends and holds at the same time, giving each creature a different way to endure.
Some lives survive the storm by allowing the sea to hide them completely. Stillness becomes a language beneath the storm. In disturbed water, the safest path is often the one closest to the reef. Under the coral ledge, many forms of life share one small pocket of safety. Inside the reef, patience becomes another form of strength. Food moves through the storm, but only the quick and cautious can reach it. The octopus answers the storm not by fleeing, but by becoming part of the seafloor. The octopus waits with the patience of the reef itself. Even in danger, the storm delivers food, and the reef must seize each brief chance. Even as the storm moves through the sea, the reef keeps its ancient tension alive. Beneath the Pacific storm, every creature survives by using the reef in its own way. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef survives as a connected world of shelter, hunger, pressure, and patience.
The first descent moves deeper still, toward the places where the Pacific hides its strongest survivors.
Here, beneath the storm, the Pacific Ocean hides a calmer chamber where life gathers against the pressure. The Pacific storm keeps pressing through the reef, and the sea turns every corridor into a living test. Inside the smallest branches, fragile lives find shelter from a force far larger than themselves. Even when the storm weakens below, the seafloor still carries the memory of its force. The reef wall is crowded with lives that survive by holding close to the sea's strongest edges. In the smallest homes of the ocean, survival is built through warning, work, and trust. The young fish of the reef turn coral into shelter, waiting for the sea above to calm. The sand beneath the storm is always changing, hiding the smallest doors almost as soon as they appear. Some creatures survive the Pacific storm not by speed, but by patience and contact with the reef. In this unstable sea, even a tiny home must be defended again and again. Under the ledge, the reef becomes a shared shelter for lives that would never gather in calm water. Inside the storm-dark reef, patience and shelter become as powerful as movement. The storm brings food through the reef, but every chance to feed is surrounded by danger. The octopus moves only when the current allows, reading the storm through every touch. The octopus survives by reading every pulse of the sea through the stone beneath it. The storm brings risk into the sea, but it also sends food through every protected hollow.
Within the same shelter, the reef holds fear, patience, hunger, and protection.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, every creature becomes part of one living system shaped by the sea. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef endures because every hidden life has found a way to belong to the moving sea.
The first descent continues, and the Pacific leads us from shelter into another hidden passage beneath the storm.
The Pacific reef continues to hold its life close as the storm keeps pressing through the sea.
Beyond the sheltered basin, the Pacific Ocean becomes restless again, forcing every creature to choose its path. For the smallest fish, the safest world is the one too narrow for danger to enter. Here, the storm is felt not as thunder, but as moving sand and shifting pressure. The reef wall becomes a crowded shelter, each small surface holding another life against the storm. For the smallest reef walkers, the sea becomes a force to hold against. The seafloor beneath the storm is never fixed. It changes with every breath of the ocean. In rough water, the school survives by becoming one shape moving through the sea. In the smallest shelter, teamwork becomes a defense against the moving sea. Under the ledge, many small lives share the same thin line of safety. Even under the storm, the old balance of the reef remains. The storm turns the reef into a place of sudden danger and sudden food. The octopus does not resist the Pacific storm. It becomes part of the reef until the sea allows movement again. The storm sends danger through the ocean, but it also carries food into hidden places. The octopus waits inside the reef, changing with the sea instead of fighting it. Inside the same reef, hunger and shelter wait side by side. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, every hidden life is connected by the same moving water.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef remains alive, because every hidden creature has found shelter inside the moving ocean.
The first descent continues, and deeper beneath the storm, the Pacific hides still more lives waiting in the dark.
The Pacific Reef keeps drawing its life inward, turning every chamber into protection beneath the storm.
In the storm-dark sea, camouflage becomes a quiet shield against both current and danger.
When the open sea becomes unstable, the smallest gaps in the reef become the safest world. The reef wall holds its secrets tightly, giving each small creature a place to endure. Some lives endure by letting the ocean cover them.
The reef becomes shelter, anchor, and warning system all at once.
Beneath the storm, even the sand becomes a moving shelter and a moving threat. The storm brings chaos into the sea, but within chaos, food appears. In this hidden corner of the ocean, survival is built through shared warning and careful work. Under the ledge, different lives share one shelter, because the moving sea leaves no room for pride. The safest path through the storm is the one written by the reef itself. Inside the rock, the octopus becomes another shadow of the Pacific Reef.
The octopus survives by becoming part of the reef until the sea gives permission to move.
Predators wait, prey hide, and the storm moves between them. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, every life is part of the same underwater struggle.
The first descent continues, and beyond the reef valley, the Pacific begins to reveal a deeper hidden world. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the coral chamber becomes one living refuge, holding every hidden life inside the moving ocean.
The storm changes the light, but life beneath it never stops. Every turn is answered by thousands, and the school becomes one moving body.
Beyond the reef, the Pacific opens into a larger world, where survival depends on movement.
In open water, safety is no longer a hiding place, but a shared direction. The deeper we follow the Pacific beneath the superstorm, the more its hidden greatness continues to unfold. Above them, the storm moves the surface. Below it, the fish move as one. Far below the storm, the Pacific is shaped not only by waves, but by rivers of water flowing inside the ocean itself. In the open Pacific, the storm hides danger until it moves. Every small movement spreads through thousands of lives, like a pulse through the ocean. A single change of direction can protect thousands of lives. The Pacific writes living geometry across the open water. Not every giant fights the storm. Some pass through it with ancient calm.
Beneath the moving school, The ray follows deeper currents of the storm cannot fully command.
The strongest travelers waste nothing, allowing the Pacific itself to carry them.
In the open sea, every creature reads the storm differently. Even the gentlest drifters become part of the great motion beneath the storm.
Far from the reef, the Pacific reveals predators that travel with the rhythm of the sea rather than the violence of the storm.
The Pacific gathers giants not in one place, but across every depth.
The school becomes a floating sky beneath the storming sea.
The strongest hunters conserve energy, letting the ocean work with them instead of against them. And many hunters follow the same current, each searching without disturbing the balance of the sea.
The farther we descend beneath the Pacific, the quieter the storm becomes, yet the ocean grows even more powerful.
Even beneath a superstorm, light continues to guide the hidden world below.
Invisible life feeds the entire Pacific, one drifting current at a time. Thousands separate for a moment, only to become one once again. Every movement spreads instantly across the school, creating order from countless individual lives. Close to the bottom, larger wings carry life through currents that never stop moving. Different worlds share the same ocean, separated only by depth. Above the Pacific, the storm shapes the light. Below, the light reshapes the ocean. The Pacific reveals itself in layers, each filled with life responding to the same sea. Some giants travel not with force, but with extraordinary grace. Beyond these waters, even greater travelers of the Pacific are already approaching. The Pacific rewards patience, allowing the largest gentle giants to thrive on the smallest drifting life. Far from the reef, the Pacific becomes an endless highway of movement. Every depth of the Pacific carries its own travelers moving in opposite directions. Order survives because every individual responds to the same invisible current.
Even the softest creatures become part of the Pacific's immense design.
The Pacific Ocean is not one habitat, but countless living worlds stacked together beneath the storm.
The storm changes the light, but not the discipline of the sea. Beyond the last blue light, the Pacific still guards a world that few eyes have ever seen.
Power in the Pacific often arrives without speed or noise.
The Pacific now leaves the familiar world behind and begins its descent into silence.
Every powerful swimmer measures its strength against the sea instead of fighting it.
Even here, where the sea appears empty, life fills every current. Closer to the bottom, the rhythm of the storm becomes slower and deeper. Even in open water, larger creatures create quiet places for smaller lives.
The storm still exists above, but its voice grows quieter with every meter of depth.
The Pacific is never empty. Every layer carries another hidden community.
Hidden rivers inside the Pacific shape journeys that no surface wave can reveal. The deeper sea replaces speed with patience,
and light with quiet transparency. The deeper we travel into the Pacific, the more the storm reveals a world united by motion rather than fear. The smallest lights often guide the longest journeys beneath the Pacific. The Pacific Ocean becomes a living sky beneath the storm, filled with countless lives moving together. Life becomes less crowded, but no less extraordinary. Each individual follows simple instincts, yet together they create impossible beauty. What appears to be empty water is actually an endless rain feeding the deep Pacific. Ahead lies the threshold, where daylight gives way to another world. Above, the storm reshapes the light. Below, the ocean reshapes itself. Beyond this fading light, the Pacific keeps secrets that have waited millions of years to be seen. Some of the Pacific's greatest travelers appear almost like silent shadows beneath the living sea. Strength beneath the Pacific is measured by calm precision rather than speed. Here, the Pacific begins to leave the world of sunlight behind. The storm still exists above, but its power is now remembered only through the currents. Every giant in the Pacific carries its own small community. Invisible rivers continue their journey long after the surface has forgotten the storm. The Pacific Ocean is built in layers, each one alive with its own hidden rhythm. The deeper Pacific introduces life that seems almost made from light itself. Even the smallest drifting life continues the story of the Pacific. Together, thousands of small lives become one of the ocean's greatest wonders. With every meter downward, life becomes quieter, but never disappears. Beyond these endless waters, the greatest giants of the Pacific are waiting beneath the storm. The Pacific is shaped by currents hidden far below the reach of wind. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the ocean's largest travelers move with a calm older than the waves. Some lives remain only as passing shadows until the deep sea chooses to reveal them. Even the storm above cannot hurry the deep rhythm of a giant. Around a giant, the Pacific seems to slow down and expand. Ahead lies the threshold, where the familiar ocean ends and the abyss begins. The largest life and the smallest drifting bodies belong to the same ocean current. The Pacific has guided us beyond the reach of sunlight. What waits below belongs to the oldest and most mysterious kingdom of the sea. The Pacific now reaches the quiet frontier between daylight and the deep unknown. Some giants of the Pacific are so vast they seem to belong to the sea itself. The storm commands the surface, but the deep Pacific keeps its own ancient order. Some of the ocean's longest travelers are not single animals, but entire living colonies. Together, the giants travel as if guided by memories carried through the sea. The deeper Pacific reveals beauty that seems almost impossible to notice from the surface. From surface chaos to deep calm, the Pacific holds many worlds at once. Light grows weaker, yet life continues to create its own quiet brilliance.
Every falling particle becomes part of the deep Pacific's endless cycle of life. One movement from a giant can ripple through countless smaller lives. The surface storm now feels like a distant memory, carried only by the ocean itself. The open Pacific beneath the storm is not ruled by one creature, but by the movement of all life together. Silence becomes the dominant voice as the Pacific prepares for the abyss. The Pacific Ocean beneath the storm is one connected living world, where every current carries countless lives. Invisible boundaries divide the Pacific more completely than any coastline. Not every giant beneath the Pacific storm is a hunter. Some travel quietly through clouds of life. The deepest travelers reveal themselves only for a moment before returning to darkness.
Even the largest travelers move with remarkable gentleness through the open sea.
The scale of the Pacific is best understood when a giant passes silently above.
The Pacific no longer feels like an ocean of waves, but an ocean of silence.
The Pacific holds giants that fly through water with the grace of birds. Every drifting particle carries the story of life deeper into the Pacific. The currents shape every journey, from the smallest fish to the largest wings. Some of the Pacific's most extraordinary lives exist only through perfect cooperation. The ocean creates patterns that no single creature could ever make alone. Listen. As sunlight disappears, delicate beauty becomes even more remarkable. Nothing in the Pacific truly stands still. Even silence continues to move. The world above still exists, but it no longer defines the ocean below. The Pacific is sculpted by rivers hidden inside the sea. The farther we descend, the more every living shape becomes a rare discovery. The deepest Pacific reveals itself only through brief glimpses and patient observation. Now the Pacific opens the door to the deepest realm, where life has evolved beyond the reach of the sun. The Pacific Ocean now reaches the threshold where sunlight surrenders completely to the deep sea. Even in apparent emptiness, the Pacific Ocean is constantly nourishing life. The strongest rivers of the Pacific Ocean are hidden beneath its surface. Some of the sea's most delicate creatures shine brightest where daylight almost disappears. Cooperation becomes one of the oldest survival strategies in the Pacific Ocean. The storm above has become only a memory carried by the sea.
The deeper the Pacific Ocean becomes, the more precious every living encounter feels.
The Pacific Ocean never reveals all of its inhabitants at once. Beyond this final darkness, the Pacific Ocean enters a kingdom illuminated not by the sun, but by life itself. For the first time, the Pacific Ocean is no longer illuminated by the sky above, but by the life within it. Everything that falls from the upper sea becomes the beginning of another world.
The deepest Pacific Ocean is shaped by currents that never meet the wind.
The storm above has finally disappeared, but the ocean continues its ancient journey.
The deepest ocean transforms fragile bodies into living constellations.
The Pacific Abyss resembles a universe where every falling particle supports unseen life.
Some giants of the deep move so slowly, they seem detached from time itself.
Even in darkness, the Pacific Ocean remains full of movement.
In the deep Pacific, communication is written with light rather than sound. Every flash of light carries meaning in the endless darkness. The deeper Pacific Ocean reveals a civilization of light hidden beneath the storm.
The Pacific Ocean becomes darker, yet life becomes even more extraordinary. Some of the Pacific's oldest legends begin with creatures that rarely meet the light.
The deep Pacific rewards patience with glimpses of remarkable life. Even the darkness of the Pacific Ocean is filled with gentle light.
Many deep-sea fish disappear by matching the light above them. The Pacific Ocean hides its greatest wonders inside perfect silence. Some deep-sea travelers appear almost unreal until they move. The Pacific Abyss creates beauty from darkness rather than sunlight.
Every light in the Pacific may belong to a creature we have never fully seen.
The Pacific Ocean has only begun revealing the astonishing life hidden beneath its deepest waters. Deeper still, the Pacific Ocean begins to reveal creatures shaped by darkness itself.
Some hunters in the deep Pacific survive by waiting in perfect stillness. In the abyss, patience can be as powerful as speed. Small lights travel together through the deep, turning darkness into direction.
Transparency becomes another way to disappear in the Pacific Abyss. In this world, light can attract, warn, confuse, or conceal.
Every flash in the deep Pacific may be a message written for survival.
The abyss is not empty darkness. It is a slow ballet of fragile bodies. Every depth of the Pacific has its own rules, its own lights, and its own hidden lives. Ahead, the Pacific Abyss grows stranger, and the hidden creatures become harder to imagine. The Pacific Abyss now becomes a place where darkness has depth, movement, and life. Some creatures of the deep Pacific have evolved to look through darkness itself. In the abyss, survival often begins with seeing what others cannot.
Some lives do not chase the ocean. They stand inside its current and wait.
In the deepest Pacific, patience becomes the rhythm of life.
Here, light can become a tool, a signal, and a trap. In a world without sunlight, even the smallest glow can change everything.
The Pacific Abyss survives through stillness, light, pressure, and astonishing adaptation.
Deeper along the Pacific Trench, the hidden world grows stranger still. The deepest walls of the Pacific Ocean preserve a history older than any storm above. Even without sunlight, the Pacific Ocean creates islands of life powered from within the earth. Where heat escapes from the earth, entire deep-sea communities gather. Life in the Pacific Abyss does not always depend on the sun. Sometimes it depends on the planet itself. Even the largest walkers of the abyss move with remarkable patience. Every movement on the abyssal floor is measured against immense pressure and endless time. Heat, darkness, and drifting life exist together in perfect balance. Camouflage remains one of the oldest survival strategies, even in complete darkness. The Pacific Ocean proves that life can flourish wherever energy can be found. Beyond the last hydrothermal light, the Pacific Ocean still guards mysteries waiting in absolute darkness. Beyond the vent fields, the Pacific Ocean enters a darkness that feels almost endless. Even the darkest walls of the Pacific hold lives adapted to pressure and silence. In the abyss, camouflage is not color alone, but shape, patience, and stillness.
Every movement here is slow because the deep Pacific wastes nothing.
What falls from above becomes a feast for those waiting below. The abyssal floor survives through patience, recycling, and the endless rain of the sea. Above the trench floor, hunters write their presence with light. The deep Pacific is a world where danger and beauty often share the same glow. Far beneath the Pacific storm, the abyss is not empty. It is a hidden system of survival. Deeper in the Pacific Trench, the hidden world grows quieter, stranger, and even more ancient. The deeper basin of the Pacific Ocean holds life so quiet it almost becomes part of the darkness. Here, survival is built from patience and the endless rain from the upper ocean. Even the smallest reach matters in the deep Pacific. Some creatures of the abyss move through darkness with unexpected grace. The deep sea rewards slow movement, careful energy, and perfect balance. In absolute darkness, a single glow can become a world. Light in the abyss is never wasted. Every pulse has a purpose. The Pacific Trench turns stone, darkness, and falling food into a living landscape. Far below the Pacific Superstorm, the abyss survives through quiet cooperation. The Pacific still descends, and every deeper corridor carries a mystery older than the storm. The Pacific Ocean continues descending into places where almost no sunlight has ever reached. Pressure has shaped even the simplest movement into remarkable efficiency.
Even the smallest inhabitants reshape the life surrounding the Pacific Trench. Some creatures of the Pacific become almost invisible, except for the light they choose to reveal.
Transparency becomes one of the greatest disguises in the deep sea.
The Pacific Ocean feeds countless lives simply by allowing the currents to flow. In the Pacific Abyss, even the most fragile life becomes part of the deep current. The deep Pacific turns stone and silence into a living foundation. What falls from the upper ocean becomes the daily bread of the abyss. Here, light can become both invitation and warning. Every glow in the deep Pacific changes the behavior of everything around it. In the abyss, a body can become a message written in light. The deep sea is not empty space, but a layered world of signals, patience, and pressure. On the trench ledge, life survives by wasting nothing and waiting well. Far below the Pacific superstorm, the abyss is a complete world built from darkness. The Pacific still descends, and its deepest secrets are waiting beyond the next darkness. The deepest Pacific Ocean is not empty. It is simply too patient to reveal itself quickly. Here, survival is built from what the upper sea sends down. In this darkness, even a single reaching arm can gather life from the current. Grace still exists in the abyss, even where the sea is ruled by pressure. Every creature here moves as if the deep sea has taught it economy. In the Pacific abyss, a single glow can become an entire landscape. Light here is never decoration, it is survival. The deepest Pacific writes messages in brief flashes no surface creature can read. Far below the Pacific superstorm, darkness becomes an ecosystem. The storm above is gone from sight, but the Pacific still leads us deeper into its oldest darkness. The deeper Pacific Ocean now feels almost motionless, yet every particle is still part of life. What falls from the upper sea becomes the foundation of survival below. Even here, where pressure is immense, the reef of stone becomes a shelter. Transparency allows life to disappear inside the darkness without leaving the sea. The Pacific abyss hides beauty by making it almost weightless. Small lights mark the paths of lives that rarely meet the surface. Above the trench floor and below the open dark, every layer carries its own quiet survivors. In the deep Pacific, light becomes language, warning, and disguise. The abyss is not empty darkness. It is a slow living map of adaptation. The Pacific still descends, and the next darkness promises creatures shaped by depths beyond imagination. The Pacific Ocean now enters a depth where silence feels ancient. On the deepest shelves, life survives by using every fragment the sea delivers. The abyssal floor is a world of slow work and endless recycling. Even in the oldest darkness, the Pacific Ocean can move with grace. Every creature here saves energy because the deep sea gives nothing easily. Above the abyssal floor, small lights mark the paths of hidden travelers. In the deep Pacific, the boundary between body and water can almost disappear. Here, light is not decoration. It is a language of survival. Far below the Pacific superstorm, the abyss is a complete world built from patience and light. The Pacific still has deeper darkness ahead, and every unseen shape suggests another secret waiting below. The storm controls the sky, but beneath it, the sea answers with life.
At the deepest edge of the Pacific, the storm above has become a memory, but life below continues in darkness.
Here, survival depends on what falls from the world above.
Great wings move through the storm-shaped sea, as if the ocean itself is guiding them. The Pacific Trench turns stone, pressure, and darkness into a hidden, living landscape.
This is not chaos alone. It is the Pacific reorganizing life through movement. The storm scatters life for a moment, but the current brings it back together.
In this realm, a single point of light can change the entire sea around it.
Light becomes language, warning, and survival in the deepest Pacific.
Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, life survives not by escaping the force, but by becoming part of it.
Even here, where darkness feels endless, the ocean still carries grace.
The Pacific Ocean is no longer resisting the storm, it is turning the storm into movement.
The abyss survives through patience, recycling, and the smallest gifts from the sea above. And every pulse of pressure becomes a new shape for survival. The dark Pacific is filled with fragile lights, each one moving through pressure and silence.
The larger hunters follow the storm's design, waiting where the current gathers life. The storm has opened a feeding corridor between darkness and light.
Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, darkness itself becomes a complete ecosystem. From the deepest Pacific, hidden currents begin carrying life upward again. From the deepest darkness, the Pacific begins sending life back toward the upper sea.
Above, the storm controls the light. Below, life turns that light into direction.
The ocean does not only pull downward, it also lifts hidden life back into motion. Even at the storm's peak, the great wings of the Pacific keep their ancient calm. Even when the current changes direction, the deep keeps speaking through light.
This is the hidden machinery of the Pacific, where pressure, food, and instinct move together.
At the edge of the abyss, even gentle movement can reshape the world around it.
For a moment, the storm scatters everything, and then the ocean begins to organize itself again.
The deep Pacific changes slowly, but every change touches many lives.
Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, survival has become a dance between the deep and the storm above.
Small lights gather where the current carries food.
In the deep ocean, life follows invisible roads drawn by food and pressure. The Pacific Abyss is never still. It is a crossing of movements too slow for the surface to notice.
What begins in darkness may feed the brighter ocean above.
The Pacific storm may rage above, but far below, hidden currents are already rebuilding the path of life.
From the deep Pacific, life begins to rise again through currents no eye can see from above. Where food rises, even the smallest lights begin to gather.
In the deep sea, direction is written by food, pressure, and light.
Below, the slow world continues, while above it, another journey begins.
The deep Pacific carries fragile lives upward, without sound, without urgency, and without waste.
Some lives survive the open darkness by becoming many bodies with one purpose. Predators also follow the rising path, reading the glow of smaller lives.
The Pacific is a crossing of hidden roads, some falling, some rising, all carrying life.
The upward current begins to reconnect the abyss with the living layers above. From the deepest Pacific, the hidden current carries life upward toward the storm-changed sea.
The Pacific Ocean now carries deep life upward toward a sea still shaken by the storm.
Where the current lifts food, hidden communities begin to gather.
In the darkness below the storm, light becomes both direction and memory.
The slow world below remains, while the current carries another part of the Pacific upward. The higher the current rises, the more life begins to answer.
The deep Pacific survives through forms that are both fragile and perfectly connected.
Predators follow the same invisible road, waiting for light, movement, and opportunity.
The Pacific is never still. It is a meeting place of currents moving in different directions. The deep current is now approaching the storm-shaped layers of the upper sea. From the abyss to the storm-changed sea, the Pacific Ocean is rebuilding its chain of life. The Pacific Ocean is now caught between two forces, the deep current rising and the storm current pressing down. Where currents collide, the ocean creates confusion, but also new feeding grounds. In the storm-changed sea, light becomes a way to stay together.
Food rising from below begins to awaken the larger world above. The school forms where deep nourishment meets the violence of the storm.
When food gathers, the open Pacific quickly remembers its hunters. The Pacific survives by breaking apart and coming together again. The storm above now reaches this layer through light, pressure, and moving shadow. This is the storm's hidden effect, not destruction alone, but a reshaping of the entire food chain. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the ocean is rebuilding life through motion, pressure, hunger, and light. The Pacific Ocean is rebuilding life at the very place where opposing currents meet. Where food gathers, the ocean quickly gathers life around it. With the smallest fish survive the chaos by becoming one larger shape.
The storm may scatter the sea, but hunger knows how to follow order.
The Pacific breaks its patterns only to build them again.
The storm above reaches this world through pressure, shadow, and sudden light.
The storm creates risk, but it also brings the ocean's hidden food into reach.
Every change in the current becomes a new shape for survival. This is the Pacific's hidden response to the storm, a food chain rebuilt in motion.
As the current rises toward the storm, the Pacific gathers more life into the same powerful flow. As the deep current rises, the storm-changed Pacific gathers life into one powerful moving layer.
The smallest fish answer the storm with unity. Where food gathers, the larger travelers follow with quiet precision. The Pacific keeps reshaping life, breaking one pattern and building another. The storm reaches down not as wind, but as shadow, pressure, and restless light. The storm creates danger, but it also brings hidden food into reach. Every change in the sea becomes a new shape for survival. But even in a storm-change ocean, some giants move with quiet grace. The Pacific is rebuilding its food chain through collision, movement, and light. Now the storm and the deep current meet in one crowded layer, and the Pacific prepares for its most powerful movement yet. Here, the Pacific Ocean becomes a meeting point of hunger, pressure, and movement. The school survives by becoming one shape, faster than fear can divide it. The storm does not stop the hunters. It teaches them where the current will carry food. The storm turns the water column into a feeding ground built from chaos. Every surge writes a new shape across the living Pacific. From above, the storm sends darkness and light in waves through the sea. Even in the strongest movement, the great wings of the Pacific keep their calm.
The Pacific gathers its creatures into layers, each one following a different current.
The storm does not simply disturb the ocean. It rearranges life into new patterns. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the ocean has become a vast engine of survival. The Pacific Ocean has become a moving engine, where every current carries hunger, shelter, and life. In the crowded sea, survival depends on moving before danger becomes visible. The hunters do not need to rush. The storm itself gathers the ocean around them. Food rises from the deep, and the upper sea awakens around it. The Pacific keeps rewriting the shape of life with every surge.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, life is not waiting for calm. It is learning to move with the storm.
The Pacific Ocean is not waiting for the storm to end. It is learning how to live inside it.
1,000 small decisions become one living shield. The hunters follow the rhythm of the current, not the chaos of the storm. The storm opens brief windows of food, and the ocean rushes to answer. Every current redraws the map, and every school becomes a moving answer. The storm controls the light, but life controls its response. In the strongest movement, some giants survive by becoming calm itself. The Pacific becomes one vast exchange of food, movement, and survival. The storm breaks the ocean apart, and the ocean builds itself again. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, survival is no longer stillness. It is the power to move with everything. The Pacific Ocean is now moving in every direction, yet life continues to find rhythm inside the force. And when pressure increases, the smallest lives answer by becoming stronger together. The hunters wait for the ocean to create opportunity. The storm has turned the water column into a crowded path of hunger and chance. The Pacific breaks one living shape into many, then gathers it back again.
At last, beneath the Pacific Ocean, the storm begins to loosen its grip. The smallest fish feel the change first, spreading back into the sea as pressure begins to ease.
As the storm weakens, hunger no longer gathers every creature into the same narrow path.
The sea does not become still at once. It returns to balance, one movement at a time.
Above, the storm is passing. Below, the Pacific begins to remember its light. The great wings of the Pacific move through the fading storm, as if guiding the sea back toward calm. After the strongest movement, the Pacific does not empty. It reorganizes. Clarity returns not as silence, but as a new order moving through the water. The open Pacific begins sending life back toward the shelters that endured the storm. The storm has not vanished completely, but the Pacific Ocean is already beginning its recovery. The Pacific Ocean begins guiding life back toward the shelters that survived below. The reef receives the returning fish, and the ocean begins to feel familiar again. The smallest survivors return first, testing the water one cautious movement at a time.
The reef did not escape the storm, but it held on long enough for balance to return.
On the seafloor, the smallest homes are rebuilt, grain by grain. The same shelters that protected life now become doorways back into the open reef. The Pacific Ocean does not return to peace all at once. It softens one current at a time. Those that waited in darkness begin to move again as the reef opens. Even after the storm, the reef keeps its old boundaries between caution and hunger. The Pacific Ocean is still changing, but the reef has begun to breathe again. The Pacific Ocean begins to reveal what the storm could not take away. Fear loosens slowly, and the smallest fish begin to reclaim the reef. Every surface of the reef begins working again in the returning calm. After the storm, even the seafloor begins rebuilding its small doorways. Shelters become pathways again when the Pacific begins to calm. The light returns softly, and with it, the reef remembers its rhythm. Those who endured in stillness now return to movement. The open sea and the reef begin reconnecting after the storm. The Pacific Ocean is still moving, but the violence has begun to leave the light. After the superstorm, the Pacific does not begin again from nothing. It continues from everything that survived. Everything that survived the storm now becomes part of the Pacific Ocean's recovery. The smallest fish return to the reef slowly, carrying the first signs of calm. The reef begins working again through thousands of quiet movements. Even the smallest homes beneath the sea are rebuilt with patience. The shelters of the storm now become pathways back into the open reef. Life that waited in darkness
now moves again through returning light. The reef and the open Pacific begin sharing life again. The storm has passed through the light, leaving the ocean clearer than before. Recovery is not silence. It is the return of every rhythm that belongs to the sea. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the storm has become memory, and life continues forward. The Pacific Ocean does not forget the storm, but it has already begun moving beyond it. The smallest lives return first, trusting the reef one movement at a time. Every small movement shows that the reef is alive again. After the storm, even the sand remembers how to hold life. The shelters that protected life now open back into the sea. Those that endured in darkness now return to the colors of the reef. The reef and the open Pacific begin sharing the same calm current again. The storm has passed through the light, and the Pacific begins to shine again. Recovery is not a single moment. It is the return of every rhythm that belongs to the ocean. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the storm has ended its strongest chapter, but life continues writing the next one. The Pacific Ocean continues forward, carrying the memory of the storm inside a calmer sea. The smallest survivors now move with a new confidence across the reef. The reef recovers through thousands of quiet actions too small to see from above. Even the seafloor begins to rebuild its order after the storm. The places that once held fear now become pathways back into life. The reef's hidden survivors return to motion as the Pacific light comes back. The reef and the open Pacific begin to breathe together again. The violence has left the light, but the light still remembers the storm. The Pacific Ocean heals through rhythm, not stillness. After the Pacific superstorm, life does not simply survive, it begins to spread again. After the storm, the Pacific Ocean begins to widen again, giving life room to move. The reef's smallest workers return quietly, repairing the world without sound. Every hidden corner begins to work again as the Pacific settles. The storm changed the sand, but life has already begun writing new paths across it. Food still moves through the water, but now the sea carries it with softness. Those that waded through darkness now return to color, motion, and choice. The reef and the open Pacific reconnect through every returning school. The sky above has calmed, and the Pacific begins to glow from within. The Pacific Ocean recovers not by standing still, but by restoring every living rhythm. The storm has passed, but the Pacific Ocean carries its lesson forward in every current. The Pacific Ocean carries the memory of the storm, but life now moves with calm purpose. What once became shelter now becomes a place of movement again. The reef returns through thousands of quiet acts of survival.
Even the smallest homes beneath the sea are part of the ocean's recovery. The same currents that once brought pressure now carry food and light. The hidden survivors return not with haste, but with the careful rhythm of the reef. The reef and the open Pacific share one calm current again. The storm has left the surface, and the sea below begins to shine again. Recovery is the ocean, remembering every rhythm that kept it alive. The Pacific Ocean has endured the superstorm, and now every current carries life forward. After the storm, the Pacific Ocean does not pause. It carries life onward through every gentle current. The reef's recovery begins in small movements, repeated thousands of times. What held firm beneath pressure now becomes part of the ocean's renewal. Even the smallest doorway beneath the sea becomes a sign that life has continued. The same ocean that brought danger now carries food, light, and renewal. The hidden survivors return to the open reef, carrying the memory of stillness into motion. The reef and the open Pacific reconnect through movement shared by every returning school. The light that returns after the storm feels deeper because the sea has endured darkness. The Pacific Ocean heals by returning each life to its place within the whole. The superstorm has passed, but the Pacific Ocean remains alive, connected, and endlessly moving forward. The Pacific Ocean moves forward, not by forgetting the storm, but by carrying life beyond it. The reef's smallest lives return quietly, and their movement becomes the first sign of renewal. Every hidden corner that endured the storm now helps rebuild the whole reef. Even the smallest shelter beneath the sea becomes proof that life has continued. The same current that once carried pressure now carries food, light, and recovery. Those that survived by hiding now return to color, movement, and choice. The reef and the open Pacific reconnect through every returning path of life. The Pacific light returns softer now, carrying the memory of everything the sea endured. The Pacific Ocean heals by placing every surviving life back into motion. The storm has passed through the Pacific Ocean, but life beneath the sea has answered with endurance. The Pacific Ocean has endured the storm, and beneath the sea, life has answered with resilience. Every small survivor becomes part of the reef's recovery. Even the smallest homes beneath the Pacific are part of the ocean's renewal. The current that once carried danger now carries food, light, and life forward. Those that survived in hiding now return to color, motion, and the open reef. The reef and the open Pacific are connected again by every returning path of life. Above the Pacific, the storm has passed. Below it, the sea continues breathing. The Pacific Ocean heals not by becoming still, but by restoring every rhythm that belongs to life. From the storm above to the abyss below, every part of the Pacific has carried this story of survival. The superstorm has ended, but the Pacific Ocean remains alive.
Around every giant, smaller lives find shelter, direction, and rhythm.
Above the endless ocean, the greatest lives of the sea begin to reveal a hidden world below. The first wonder of the sea is scale, a silent giant moving beneath a world of light. Now the journey leaves the sky behind and follows life into the sea. Beneath the surface, the ocean becomes a cathedral of blue light, motion, and life. Every movement from the largest life in the ocean sends a quiet rhythm through the sea. From below, the ocean reveals its true scale, where giants move like shadows of another world. The giant leads us away from the surface and toward the hidden colors of the sea. As the giants fade into the blue, the reef begins to rise like a living city beneath the ocean. The sea paints with motion, and every fish becomes part of the living color. An ancient traveler crosses the reef, carrying the quiet memory of the sea. Every path through the ocean is shaped by patience, current, and light. The reef is not still scenery. It is an ocean city constantly at work. Even the sand beneath the sea is filled with quiet signs of life. Together, small lives create patterns that make the ocean feel endless. Inside the school, the sea becomes pure motion, carrying us deeper into the reef. The school becomes a pathway, leading us farther into the ocean's hidden architecture. Every tower of coral is a crowded ocean neighborhood, built by life over time. Color here is not decoration, it is the language of the reef. The reef holds secret spaces where the ocean slows down and becomes quiet. The ocean survives through small relationships that happen far from the surface. What looks like one wall is really thousands of lives holding the reef together. From every hidden corner, the reef opens again toward the wider sea. Beyond the reef wall, the ocean brings back the grace of a larger world. Some creatures seem to fly through the sea, turning the ocean itself into sky. The reef has shown its colors, but the open ocean is still calling us forward. The reef begins to fall away, and the wider ocean invites us into deeper blue. At this edge, the ocean changes mood without losing its beauty. Small fish become one living shape, turning the sea into motion. And inside the school, the ocean feels endless, alive, and perfectly connected. Beyond the reef, another gentle giant rises from the blue. The ocean's largest travelers move with a silence that makes the sea feel sacred. Around every giant, smaller lives find shelter, direction, and rhythm. From below, the sea turns a living giant into a moving constellation. The giant fades into the blue, but its path leads us back toward the living reef. From open blue back to coral color, the ocean keeps unfolding one world into another. The ocean has brought us back to the reef, where color becomes the next great discovery. Every opening in the coral leads to another chamber of life. The reef is not a single place. but a maze of living rooms beneath the sea. Among the colors, ancient travelers pause as if the ocean itself is breathing. The deeper we look, the more the ocean fills every space with life. Small lives gather into great movement, and the sea becomes a living pattern. Here, the ocean becomes a theater of color, scale, and silent motion. Everything in the reef is connected by currents too soft for the eye to measure. From sky to surface, from surface to reef, the ocean has opened the door to its hidden kingdom. Ahead lies the coral kingdom, where the ocean's colors will become even more alive. The first chapter does not end with discovery. It opens wider into the living colors of the sea. Every wall of coral becomes a doorway, and every doorway leads deeper into the ocean's design. Beneath the moving colors, the ocean floor holds quieter lives that keep the reef alive. The sea gathers small lives into shapes that feel larger than the reef itself. Inside the school, the ocean becomes a river made entirely of life. Ancient travelers pass through the reef as if they know every current by memory. The reef, the giants, and the open sea are never separate. They are one moving world. From the smallest cleaner to the largest shadow, the ocean builds wonder in layers. A single coral tower can feel like a whole ocean when every surface is alive. The ocean has shown us its entrance, and now the coral kingdom is ready to reveal its full brilliance. The coral kingdom opens wider, and the ocean turns color into living motion. Every bright surface of the sea hides a smaller world working quietly beneath it. The deeper we follow one small life, the larger the ocean becomes. In the calmest spaces of the sea, ancient travelers move as if time itself has slowed.
Life does not simply pass through the reef. It shapes the ocean with every movement.
When thousands move as one, the sea becomes a single breathing shape. The ocean connects tiny sparks of life with giants moving silently above. Even beneath the brightest reef, the seafloor holds its own quiet choreography. The ocean keeps lifting us from detail into wonder, from one hidden life into thousands more. The first chapter has opened the door, but the brightest heart of the ocean is still ahead.
The ocean draws us deeper, where every color seems to lead toward another hidden world.
Continuing through the gateway, we observe the stunning bioluminescence of the coral pillar, teeming with life as the silver spratfish.
The reef hides its wonders in chambers, and each chamber opens like a secret beneath the sea. Even the quiet floor of the ocean is filled with movement, patience, and design. From the sea floor to the open water, the ocean is always rising into motion.
Through the living cloud, an ancient traveler appears again, carrying the calm rhythm of the reef.
The reef, the turtle, and the open sea move together as one long breath. Every layer of the ocean leads the eye forward, from small color to giant shadow. This living amphitheater is only the beginning of the ocean's deeper brilliance. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom waits in full color, ready to pull us even deeper.
the ocean pulls us deeper, where color gathers into a living cathedral beneath the sea.
From far away it looks like beauty, but up close the ocean becomes endless work.
Every passage beneath the sea feels designed to lead the eye toward another wonder.
The reef does not reveal everything at once. The ocean opens it layer by layer. An ancient traveler crosses the chamber, carrying the patience of the sea through the reef. The ocean's calmest moments are filled with lives that never stop moving. When thousands move together, the sea becomes a single, shimmering breath. Above the reef, the ocean gives space to giants, while the colors continue below. The ocean keeps moving between grand scale and hidden detail, never losing its rhythm.
The first chapter keeps widening, and the ocean's brightest kingdom is still waiting ahead.
The ocean's brightest kingdom begins to rise ahead, pulling every current toward color.
From a distance, the reef is breathtaking. Up close, the sea becomes infinite.
One small fish can lead us into a chamber the ocean has kept hidden. Beneath the coral colors, the ocean floor carries its own quiet life. The sea lifts the smallest lives upward until they become a shining cloud. Through the living cloud, an ancient traveler returns, slow and steady in the ocean light.
The turtle moves between the reef and the open sea, as if both are one breath.
Every layer of the ocean leads forward, from tiny color to giant shadow. This living amphitheater is only the entrance to the ocean's deeper brilliance. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom waits in full brilliance, ready to carry us into the next chapter. The first doorway has opened, and the ocean now leads us toward its brightest kingdom.
Every color in the sea is alive, and every surface holds another hidden story. The ocean does not reveal itself all at once. It invites us deeper, one chamber at a time. Even the quiet floor of the sea is part of the reef's living heartbeat. From the smallest lives, the ocean creates movement vast enough to fill the blue.
Between the tiny school and the ancient traveler, the sea shows every scale of wonder.
The reef carries every traveler forward, from bright shallows toward a deeper kingdom of color. The opening journey has shown us giants, reefs, and hidden life, but the heart of the ocean is still ahead. This living amphitheater is the final gate of our beginning, a bridge from wonder into full discovery. Part 1 ends at the doorway. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom begins to shine in its full brilliance.
Now the ocean opens its coral kingdom, where color, shelter, and life become one.
Every tower of coral is a living city built slowly beneath the sea.
The closer we move, the more the ocean turns beauty into detail.
One small fish can guide us into a chamber the sea has hidden from above. Beneath the coral colors, the ocean floor holds a quieter rhythm of life.
The smallest lives gather into motion, and the sea becomes a shining current.
Through the silver cloud, an ancient traveler returns to the heart of the reef.
The turtle moves through the coral kingdom, as if every current knows its path. Here, the reef becomes a kingdom of layers, each one alive with movement. The coral kingdom is only beginning to unfold, and the ocean still holds deeper colors ahead. Deeper inside the coral kingdom, the ocean becomes richer, brighter, and more alive.
The ocean's brilliance is built by lives almost too small to see.
Each doorway in the reef reveals another secret room beneath the sea. Even below the colors, the ocean floor continues the story in silence.
The sea turns tiny bodies into one great moving light.
Through motion, the ocean guides us from one living scene to the next. The reef's colors are not still. They move, feed, hide, and return. Above the coral kingdom, the ocean still carries the grace of giants. From shadow to color, the sea connects every layer of life. The coral kingdom stretches farther ahead, and the ocean's living colors are still unfolding. The ocean's colors continue to unfold, revealing a kingdom built from movement and light. The closer we look, the more the sea turns color into countless living details. One small fish can lead us deeper into the ocean's secret architecture. Beneath the bright coral, the ocean floor keeps its own quiet rhythm. The sea gathers its smallest lives into a shining cloud that moves as one.
Through motion, the ocean leads us from hidden detail into wider beauty.
Every current in the reef carries color, food, shelter, and direction. Above the reef, the ocean still makes space for giants moving in silence.
The shadow of a giant passes over thousands of smaller lives, all connected by the same sea.
The coral kingdom keeps expanding, and the ocean still has more hidden chambers to reveal. The coral kingdom leads us inward, where the ocean hides its most delicate rooms. Inside each hidden chamber, the sea becomes quieter, closer, and more alive. The ocean's smallest workers keep the kingdom shining from within. The reef guides us from one living doorway to the next. Even the quiet sand beneath the sea belongs to the living kingdom. From the floor of the ocean, life rises into motion like a cloud of light. The sea moves us from hidden detail into a wider field of color. Across the Coral Valley, the ocean brings ancient travelers back into view. The turtle carries the calm of the reef through a kingdom always in motion. The coral kingdom breathes through every layer, and the ocean still opens farther ahead. The coral kingdom has shown its layers, but the ocean is still guiding us beyond the reef. Before the reef falls behind, the sea reminds us that every detail here is alive. The final chambers of the reef glow like memories the ocean asks us to carry forward.
Even at the edge of the kingdom, the ocean floor continues its quiet work.
The reef sends its smallest lights upward, preparing the sea for a wider journey.
Beyond the colors of the Coral Kingdom, the open sea begins to call again. The turtle follows the current from shelter toward the vast ocean beyond. The reef has been a kingdom of color, but the open ocean holds the giants of the next chapter. As the coral fades behind us, a larger shadow begins to rise from the blue.
Part 2 leaves the Coral Kingdom behind, and ahead, the open ocean reveals its gentle giants.
Before the giants fully appear, the reef sends one final wave of life into the open sea.
The Coral Kingdom does not end suddenly. It fades slowly into the wider ocean. Even at the edge of the reef, the seafloor continues its quiet choreography. The reef lifts its smallest lights into the blue, as if preparing the ocean for something larger. The turtle becomes our guide from the colored reef into the calm blue distance. Behind us, color. Ahead, scale. Between them, the ocean carries every life forward. The open ocean begins to replace the reef with space, silence, and enormous grace. At this boundary, the Coral Kingdom becomes memory, and the sea ahead becomes possibility.
The reef releases us gently, letting the current carry us toward the giants.
Part 2 closes as the Coral Kingdom fades, and ahead, the open ocean prepares to reveal its gentle giants.
The reef falls behind like a memory, and the ocean ahead begins to grow larger.
Beyond the Coral Kingdom, the sea becomes quieter, wider, and filled with expectation. Even where the reef begins to disappear, the ocean still carries traces of its color.
The small fish leave the reef in waves, carrying its rhythm into the open sea.
The turtle moves between worlds, leaving color behind and entering the quiet blue. Behind us lies shelter. Ahead waits scale, silence, and the calm power of giants.
The ocean opens vertically now, with life moving above, below, and far ahead. In the open sea, even distance feels alive, and every shadow carries promise. The Coral Kingdom has almost vanished, but its life continues forward through the current. The ocean has carried us from color into vastness, and the gentle giants are now waiting ahead.
The ocean has left the reef behind, but every current still carries its life forward.
The small fish become a bridge between the Coral Kingdom and the giants of the sea. Even at the edge of the reef, the ocean leaves no life behind. The reef disappears from sight, but its rhythm continues inside the moving school. The turtle becomes a quiet guide, moving between the memory of color and the promise of scale. In the open ocean, distance becomes part of the wonder. The ocean has become larger than the frame, and every shadow ahead feels alive. Food, light, and movement gather here, drawing the giants closer without sound.
The ocean asks us to wait, because true scale is revealed slowly.
The Coral Kingdom has given way to the open ocean, and the giants are almost ready to emerge. The reef has disappeared behind us, and now the ocean begins to reveal its quiet giants. The smaller lives lead the way, turning the open sea into a path of light. The ocean becomes quieter here,
as if every current is making room for scale. The sea reveals its giants in pieces through motion, light, and patience. A gentle giant takes form in the blue, carrying the calm power of the open ocean.
The open sea is a world of layers, where giants move above, below, and beyond us.
The farther we travel from the reef, the more the ocean replaces color with wonder.
The giant waits in the blue, not as a threat, but as an invitation into the next world.
The Coral Kingdom has ended behind us, and the open ocean is ready to begin its chapter of giants.
The open ocean is no longer a distant promise. It is beginning to surround us.
The small fish guide us through the blue, as if they know where the giants will appear. Without the reef behind us, the sea feels larger, deeper, and filled with quiet power. The sea hides and reveals its wonders through motion, never giving everything away at once.
A gentle giant forms out of the blue, carrying the silence of the open ocean. In the open sea, the largest lives move with the softest rhythm.
The ocean builds its wonder in layers, from drifting plankton to giants above and below. The farther we travel, the more the sea replaces color with scale. The giant is close now, and the ocean seems to slow around its presence. Part 2 leaves us at the edge of vastness, where the gentle giants of the ocean are ready to take the story forward.
The ocean has left the reef behind, but every current still carries its life forward.
The small fish become a bridge between the Coral Kingdom and the giants of the sea.
Even at the edge of the reef, the ocean leaves no life behind.
The reef disappears from sight, but its rhythm continues inside the moving school. The turtle becomes a quiet guide, moving between the memory of color and the promise of scale.
In the open ocean, distance becomes part of the wonder.
The ocean has become larger than the frame, and every shadow ahead feels alive. Food, light, and movement gather here, drawing the giants closer without sound. The ocean asks us to wait, because true scale is revealed slowly. The Coral Kingdom has given way to the open ocean, and the giants are almost ready to emerge.
Part 3 begins in the open ocean, where giants move with the calm power of the sea.
The largest travelers in the ocean move without hurry, carrying entire worlds around them.
From below, the sea turns a gentle giant into a moving sky. The giant leads us deeper into blue water, where the ocean becomes pure distance.
Above the blue, other giants appear, moving through the sea as if flying through light. The open ocean is layered with quiet giants, each one moving in its own ancient rhythm. Between the smallest particles and the largest shadows, the ocean becomes one living system.
Even the smallest fish can shape the open sea into patterns of astonishing beauty.
The open ocean adds another rhythm, swift, graceful, and alive in the light. From giants below to swift travelers above, the open ocean is only beginning to reveal its scale. The open ocean reveals movement at every height, from swift travelers above to silent giants below, Speed in the sea can still feel peaceful when every movement belongs to the current. From below, even the swiftest animals become silhouettes of grace against the light. The fish lead us back downward, where the giants keep the ocean's slower rhythm. The open sea holds many speeds, but the giant carries the calmest one. Around one gentle giant, the ocean gathers small lives into a moving constellation. Some giants seem to fly, turning the ocean into a sky made of blue water. A shadow passes, and the small fish answer with one perfect turn. The open ocean is not empty space. It is a layered world of motion, scale, and light. Beyond these giants, the ocean still stretches farther, and more shadows are waiting in the blue. Farther into the open ocean, the blue begins to reveal even larger lives. The journey moves from one giant to another, guided only by fish, light, and current. In this deeper blue, size appears slowly, as if the ocean is shaping it from shadow. The ocean's giants do not rush. They let the sea move around them. Beside a giant, the ocean feels older, wider, and filled with quiet strength. From below, the giant becomes a moving horizon inside the sea. One slow movement from a giant can shift the rhythm of everything nearby. The open ocean holds speed and stillness together, each one balanced by the current. Here, the ocean becomes a vast living map, written in movement, shadow, and light. The giants have shown their scale, but the open ocean still carries us toward deeper blue. The giants fade into memory, but the ocean continues to draw us deeper into blue. In deeper water, the sea speaks more softly, but every movement feels larger. The open ocean changes mood slowly, trading brightness for depth. Even here, far from the reef, small lives still write bright lines through the sea. The school opens like a curtain, and the ocean beyond feels endless. The farther we travel, the more the sea becomes silence, space, and expectation. Above us, light still lingers. Below us, the ocean begins another story. The last bright fish lead us toward the edge of a deeper ocean. The sea grows darker, but its mystery remains gentle, alive, and waiting. Beyond the giants, the ocean prepares to reveal a quieter and deeper world. Beyond the giants, the ocean becomes quieter, and every small light begins to matter. Here, the sea no longer dazzles with color. It draws us in with silence. The smallest lights in the ocean become stars in a world without sky. The journey that began with giants now follows smaller lives into the deeper blue. The ocean changes its texture here, bending light as it carries us farther down. In deeper water, life becomes softer, stranger, and more carefully hidden. The deeper sea does not need bright color. It creates wonder with glow, shape, and silence. The surface has almost vanished, yet the sea remains alive with quiet signals. Every fading light leads to another, and the ocean keeps opening below. The giants have led us here, but now the ocean's hidden lights will guide us forward. The open ocean has carried us beyond the giants, into a world guided by light too small to see from above. Here, the sea no longer shines from the sun, it begins to shine from life itself. The deeper ocean writes its map in small pulses of light. In the quiet sea, even a fragile pulse can feel like a signal from another world. The ocean's colors have not vanished. They have become softer, stranger, and hidden inside the dark. The farther down we travel, the more the ocean replaces shape with glow. Small bodies in the dark carry their own lamps through the sea. Above us, the bright ocean fades. Ahead, the hidden ocean begins to glow. The darkness is not empty. It is filled with signals, drifting bodies, and quiet life. The giants have vanished behind us, and the ocean now leads us toward its secret world of light. The ocean's secret world begins not with darkness, but with the smallest lights of the sea. In the deeper sea, every small glow becomes a guide through the blue. The ocean hides color inside the dark, waiting for the right light to reveal it. Here, the ocean moves slowly, as if every creature is listening to the dark. Life here depends on what drifts through the ocean, falling slowly from worlds above.
The sunlight is gone now, but the sea has learned to make its own stars. In this darkness, the ocean speaks through brief flashes and hidden movement.
The deeper path is gentle, but it leads toward one of the ocean's least seen worlds. Small lights gather together, and the hidden ocean begins to feel like a living constellation. The open ocean has given us giants, but the deep sea now offers a quieter kind of wonder. The deep sea begins softly, with falling particles, hidden lights, and lives that move almost without sound.
Every glow becomes a guide, and every guide leads farther from the world of sunlight. Here, the ocean turns fragility into light, and silence into movement. The colors of the reef have changed form, becoming hidden flashes inside the dark. The deep ocean is not empty. It is a slow rain of life, falling and rising through darkness. Even in darkness, the sea has patterns, pathways, and quiet communities. The ocean no longer shows everything clearly, but it reveals enough to keep wonder alive. The deeper path is darker, yet the ocean continues to place small lights ahead of us. The sea is guiding us with light, made by life itself.
Part 3 has moved from giants into hidden light, and the deep ocean is still pulling us farther down. The deep sea begins softly, with falling particles, hidden lights, and lives that move almost without sound. Every glow becomes a guide, and every guide leads farther from the world of sunlight. Here, the ocean turns fragility into light, and silence into movement. The colors of the reef have changed form, becoming hidden flashes inside the dark. The deep ocean is not empty. It is a slow rain of life, falling and rising through darkness. Even in darkness, the sea has patterns, pathways, and quiet communities.
The ocean no longer shows everything clearly, but it reveals enough to keep wonder alive. The deeper path is darker, yet the ocean continues to place small lights ahead of us. The sea is guiding us with light, made by life itself.
Part 3 has moved from giants into hidden light, and the deep ocean is still pulling us farther down.
The deeper ocean pulls us gently downward, where life becomes softer, stranger, and lit from within. Every glowing particle becomes a signpost in a world where sunlight no longer reaches. The colors of the surface have not disappeared. They have become hidden inside the dark. In this quiet chamber, the ocean feels less like a place and more like a breathing dream. Small lights gather in the dark, forming quiet communities where the sea seems endless. The deep ocean never shows everything at once. It reveals wonder in brief flashes. Below this twilight, the ocean begins to trade open space for hidden signals. The sea keeps placing small lights ahead, guiding us from one mystery to the next. The giants are behind us now, and the ocean's hidden lights have become the only guide. Ahead, the deep ocean waits with a quieter beauty, and the journey is still descending. The deeper the ocean becomes, the more its beauty depends on patience, darkness, and light. In this hidden sea, even the smallest glow can become a path. The colors of the ocean have become quieter now, hidden inside fragile moving bodies. The deep sea feels silent, but every pulse is part of its hidden language. What falls through the ocean feeds a world that almost never sees the sun. In darkness, the ocean organizes life through signals, distance, and gentle motion. The deeper ocean does not show everything clearly, yet it never stops revealing life. The ocean keeps placing small lights below us, as if inviting the journey farther down. The sea is guiding us not with sunlight, but with life creating its own glow. Ahead, the deep ocean is no longer just darkness. It is becoming a universe of quiet light.
Part 4 begins where sunlight has vanished, and the ocean creates its own quiet universe of light.
In the deep ocean, every small glow becomes a signal of life. The colors of the reef have returned in another form, hidden inside the darkness. Here, fragility becomes light, and the sea turns silence into motion. The deep sea is not empty darkness. It is a slow-moving world of hidden signals. The ocean places a river of light below us, guiding the journey farther into the unknown. In this hidden ocean, light is not decoration. It is a language of survival. The deeper world moves slowly, but every pulse carries meaning. Small lives gather in the dark, building a quiet aquarium and the surface we'll never see. The deep ocean has opened its first chamber, and a stranger world of light is still waiting ahead. The deeper ocean waits ahead, not with fear, but with quiet lights guiding every current. In this world, the smallest bodies carry the brightest messages. The deep sea turns fragile motion into a language of light.
Every pulse in the darkness feels like a heartbeat of the ocean itself. And what falls from above becomes food, shelter, and rhythm for life below. The ocean makes a path from light, and every creature follows it in silence. The colors here are quiet, hidden inside bodies that seem almost made of water. The deeper valley does not frighten the eye. It invites it to search for light. In the hidden ocean, small lights gather not randomly, but in patterns shaped by the sea. This hidden aquarium of the deep is still opening, and the ocean's quiet lights are leading us onward. The deep ocean continues to open, and every quiet light reveals another layer of life. In this hidden sea, light is not loud. It whispers directions through the dark. Some lives here seem almost invisible, shaped from darkness, water, and faint light. The deeper world moves like a dream, but every pulse belongs to real life. What falls through the ocean becomes the slow heartbeat of the deep. Small lights gather together, turning the dark sea into a moving constellation. The ocean hides its structure in darkness, but the lights reveal its hidden order. Below this chamber, the sea forms another path from light, shadow, and slow movement. The deep ocean keeps guiding us forward, not with sound, but with living sparks. The deeper we travel, the more the ocean becomes a universe built from silence and light. In this quiet universe of the ocean, every small light becomes a world of its own. The deep sea writes its path in particles, pulses, and fragile drifting bodies. Some lives in the ocean are almost transparent, yet they carry the mystery of the deep within them. The ocean has changed from color to glow, but its beauty has only become more mysterious. But what falls through the sea becomes a slow offering to life hidden far below. In darkness, the smallest fish become moving stars, guiding the sea through itself. The deep ocean does not need bright sunlight to feel alive. Below this chamber, the ocean opens another valley, where light becomes the only map. The hidden sea keeps leading us forward, one soft glow at a time. The deep ocean is still opening, and its quiet lights are carrying us toward an even stranger world. The stranger world begins with forms so delicate, they seem drawn by the ocean itself. In the deep sea, even a drifting line of life can feel larger than imagination. The ocean hides its brightest colors inside creatures almost too fragile to touch.
Some deep ocean lives are nearly invisible, as if the sea has made them from silence.
In darkness, even the faintest outline becomes a revelation. The deep ocean builds its aquarium from drifting chains, soft pulses, and living glass. Everything falling through the sea becomes part of a hidden world still moving below. The sea continues to guide us with small lights, each one pointing toward another hidden layer. The deeper ocean is not a void. It is a universe of quiet lives suspended in blue darkness. The ocean's quiet universe is still unfolding, and its deepest lights are waiting farther ahead. Farther ahead,
the ocean's deepest lights begin to gather like stars beneath the sea. The deeper the sea becomes, the more life speaks through fragile flashes. In the hidden ocean, one drifting body can become an entire line of living light. The deeper world is strange, but its beauty remains gentle, balanced, and alive. What falls from above becomes a quiet river of life far below. The sea keeps turning darkness into pathways, and every pathway leads to another hidden chamber. This hidden aquarium has no walls, only drifting life suspended in endless blue. The deep ocean moves with invisible currents, shaping every light into a quiet pattern. Ahead, the lights grow fewer, but each one feels more important. The ocean has shown its quiet lights, but the deepest mystery is still waiting beyond the dark. Beyond the darker water, the ocean keeps its deepest wonders hidden in silence. Even here, where light is rare, life leaves a path for the eye to follow. Some lives are so clear that the ocean seems to be dreaming through them. The deep ocean builds beauty from lines, pulses, and fragile shapes suspended in black water. What falls from the ocean above becomes the quiet fuel of life below. The deeper sea moves slowly, but every glow is part of a living conversation. This hidden sea valley has no walls, only darkness, drifting life, and quiet light. Invisible currents shape the darkness, arranging every light into a pattern only the ocean understands. The lights grow fewer now, but the ocean makes each one feel like a doorway. The deep ocean has become a world of hidden signals, and its final chamber is still ahead. The final chamber of this deep ocean world waits beyond the smallest lights. Where sunlight cannot reach, the ocean still finds a way to draw a path. Some lives are nearly invisible, yet the sea reveals them with a single edge of light. This hidden chamber is built from drifting lines, fragile bodies, and quiet pulses. Everything falling through the ocean becomes part of a deeper rhythm of survival. The deep sea speaks through flashes, and every flash belongs to a living signal. The deeper ocean has no walls, only drifting life suspended inside endless blue darkness. Invisible currents arrange the darkness into patterns only the ocean understands. The lights grow fewer now, but the ocean makes each one feel like a doorway. The deep ocean has shown its hidden lights, and one final passage still waits ahead. One final passage opens ahead, where the ocean gathers its quiet lights into darkness. Where the sea becomes darkest, even the smallest glow begins to feel immense. Some lives in the ocean are revealed only when darkness gives them shape. This chamber feels endless, built from drifting lines, fragile light, and silent motion. What falls through the ocean becomes a slow offering to the lives hidden below. The deep sea does not speak loudly. It answers through flashes, pulses, and drifting life. Invisible currents arrange the ocean's darkness into patterns no surface world can see. 2. The final passage grows darker,
but the ocean still leaves enough light to follow. The hidden ocean has shown its quiet universe, and now its deepest chamber waits just ahead. The deepest chamber opens slowly, and the ocean fills it with silence, darkness, and light. In this hidden ocean chamber, every small glow becomes a direction. The deep sea builds wonder from forms that seem too fragile to survive. Here, the ocean turns invisible bodies into moving pieces of light. Everything falling through the sea becomes part of a hidden rhythm that keeps this world alive. The ocean does not stop revealing itself. It simply speaks more softly the deeper we go. This valley is an aquarium without glass, held together only by darkness, current, and life. Invisible currents shaped the chamber, arranging every light into a pattern only the ocean can read. The lights are fewer now, but the ocean makes each one feel more alive. The deep ocean has shown us a universe of quiet light, and its final passage is beginning to open. The final passage of the deep ocean opens with only a few lights, but each one carries the memory of this hidden world. Now the deep sea begins to lift us, carrying its quiet lights toward a brighter current. The darkness does not end suddenly. It opens slowly, revealing the next color of the ocean. These final lights feel like a farewell from the deep, gentle, silent, and alive. Beyond the deep chamber, the ocean begins to widen again, and life returns in larger shapes. The hidden lights of the deep have guided us back toward motion, color, and open water. The deep ocean leaves us with wonder, and ahead the sea begins to gather color once more. The darkness has not disappeared. It has become the background that makes every color feel alive.
Part 4 closes as the deep blue world releases us back into color, movement, and the great aquarium flow of the ocean. The deep ocean has shown its secret universe. Next, the best 8K Ultra HD aquarium flow begins in full motion.
The turtle carries the reef's calm into the moving blue, where every current feels alive.
The ocean opens again, joining graceful shadows above with floating light below.
From above and below, the ocean layers its beauty into one endless moving vision.
The fish form a doorway of motion, and beyond it the reef glows with another world of color. The reef becomes a stage of endless motion, where every color seems carried by the current. The brightest flow is still unfolding, and the ocean is ready to carry us into another breathtaking layer. Another breathtaking layer opens ahead, where the ocean gathers shadow, light, and motion into one flowing vision. The current bends the fish toward color, and the reef answers with thousands of small movements. Below the open blue, the reef becomes a living pattern of color, texture, and rhythm. The reef opens another natural doorway, and the turtle waits beyond it like a quiet guide. The turtle moves through the ocean with ancient calm, carrying the reef's beauty into the wider blue. The fish open like a living curtain, and the ocean becomes wider, calmer, and more magnificent. Above, the rays move like shadows of grace. Below, the reef keeps glowing with life. The fish become a doorway of motion, and beyond them the reef returns in full color. The reef bowl gathers every color into motion, as if the ocean is painting with living light.
The ocean lifts us from the reef again, and another grand layer of aquarium beauty begins to unfold.
A grander layer of the ocean opens now, where every depth moves with its own gentle rhythm. The fish lead us back toward color, and the reef rises like a living answer beneath the sea. Every reef shelf holds another rhythm, and every rhythm becomes part of the ocean's flow.
The canyon opens gently, and the turtle returns as a calm guide through the moving blue.
The turtle moves with ancient patience, while the sea around it keeps rushing with light. The fish open like silver curtains, and the ocean reveals another chamber of peaceful scale. The rays glide like silent wings, and the ocean gathers every layer into one living panorama. The silver spiral becomes a doorway, and beyond it the reef returns like a burst of living color.
The reef gathers motion from every side, turning the ocean into a living gallery of color.
The flow rises once more, and the ocean prepares another breathtaking passage of light, color, and motion. The ocean opens another passage, where light, color, and motion flow as one living design. The fish guide us downward, and the reef answers with a burst of living color. The closer we move, the more the ocean reveals tiny details inside the grand flow. Beneath the reef ledge, the sea feels sheltered, yet the open blue is always calling ahead. The turtle moves through the flowing sea, like a calm memory passing through color. Above the turtle, the silver school bends like light, and the wider ocean begins to open again. Every crossing school adds another layer, turning the sea into a moving work of art. The reef gathers color from every direction, and the ocean carries it forward without pause. Around each coral pillar, the current writes a new pattern of life and light. The passage of color and motion continues, and the ocean is ready to reveal an even wider living panorama. The living panorama widens, and the ocean fills every layer with motion, light, and calm. The fish guide the eye back toward the reef, where color rises again from the blue. Inside the grand ocean flow, the smallest reef details still carry their own quiet rhythm. The reef opens another passage, and the turtle returns like a peaceful guide through the current.
The turtle carries stillness through the moving sea, balancing the rush of fish with ancient calm.
Above and below, the ocean moves in layers, each one flowing at its own perfect pace.
The silver school opens like a living curtain, and the reef returns in brilliant color.
Around the coral tower, the current turns color into movement, and movement into harmony.
The reef releases us again, and the open ocean gathers every ribbon of life into a wider flow. The panorama keeps expanding, and the ocean is still carrying us toward its brightest flowing horizon.
The brightest horizon of the ocean opens ahead, and every layer of the sea moves toward it together.
The fish curve back toward color, guiding the eye from open water into the reef's living brilliance. Inside the flowing ocean, the reef holds thousands of small colors moving with quiet purpose. The turtle appears beneath the silver wave, steady and calm as the ocean moves around it. The turtle brings stillness into the rush, reminding us that the sea has many kinds of motion.
The fish open the view again, and the ocean becomes wide, graceful, and alive in every direction. From the rays above to the reef below, the ocean layers beauty into one endless moving picture.
The silver spiral becomes another doorway, and the reef beyond it shines with living color. The reef valley gathers every color into motion, turning the ocean into a living field of light. The brightest flowing horizon is still ahead, and the ocean keeps carrying us toward an even larger vision. The larger vision of the ocean opens before us, where every layer moves as one living masterpiece. The fish guide the eye from endless blue back into the reef's brilliant world of color. Within the grand ocean flow, the smallest reef details still shine with quiet purpose.
The turtle appears beneath the silver arc, bringing stillness into the ocean's rushing beauty. The turtle moves with ancient calm, while the entire sea flows around it in shimmering motion.
The silver curtain opens, and the ocean becomes wider, brighter, and more alive. Above, the rays glide in silence. Below, the reef continues glowing like the heart of the sea. The spiral of fish becomes a doorway, and beyond it the reef returns in full living color.
The amphitheater of coral gathers color from every direction, turning the ocean into a flowing celebration of life.
The ocean's grand vision keeps expanding, and ahead the flow is ready to become even more luminous.
The ocean's final piece is not empty. It is filled with life, moving gently through light. Part 6 begins as the ocean slows into peace, carrying every color and movement toward a quiet final harmony.
The final horizon is drawing closer, and the ocean is carrying every living motion into peace.
After the grand flow, the ocean now speaks more softly, with every fish moving like a quiet breath.
The final horizon comes closer, and the ocean gathers every movement into a softer calm. The reef returns one last time, not as a spectacle, but as a quiet home filled with life. The fish no longer rush through the sea. They drift as if listening to the quiet current. In the final light, even the smallest fish seem to carry the memory of the whole journey. The reef appears like a final memory, glowing quietly beneath the open ocean. The turtle appears again, a quiet traveler, guiding the ocean toward its final calm. In the final calm, every small fish seems to carry a piece of the journey. The turtle carries the calm of the reef into the open blue, where the ocean begins to rest.
The turtle returns in the final light, steady as the ocean becomes quiet around it.
Above and below, the sea holds every life in balance, as if the whole ocean is breathing slowly. The turtle moves without urgency, as if guiding the sea toward rest.
The rushing schools have softened into gentle lines, and the sea begins to feel endless and still.
Every layer of the ocean now moves as one slow breath. The ocean has shown its power, its color, and its mystery. Now it shows its peace. The reef becomes a memory behind us, and the open sea becomes a peaceful, endless path. The final chapter is only beginning, and the ocean is carrying us deeper into stillness. The ocean's silence is filled with life, but every life now moves gently through peace.
The ocean carries us deeper into stillness, where every movement becomes softer than before.
The horizon is almost here, and the ocean is preparing its final quiet wonder. The schools no longer rush. They drift like quiet thoughts through the sea. The ocean prepares its final quiet wonder, where every living motion becomes part of peace. The reef appears again in the final light, calm, familiar, and full of quiet life.
The fish drift like soft notes in the sea, each one fading gently into the final calm.
In this quiet reef, every small movement feels like a memory of the journey. The reef appears once more, soft and familiar, like a final memory glowing beneath the ocean.
The turtle returns like a final guide, carrying the ocean's peace through the fading light.
Nothing rushes now. Every small movement seems to thank the sea for carrying it.
The turtle moves forward without urgency, as if the whole sea has learned to rest.
The turtle returns like the final guide, steady beneath the quiet light of the ocean. Every layer of the ocean now moves slowly, held together by the same quiet current. The turtle carries the last colors of the reef toward the open stillness ahead.
The reef fades behind us, but its color remains in the calm of the sea.
Every layer of the ocean now feels connected by the same quiet breath. The ocean becomes quieter now, not empty, but deeply alive beneath the silence. The reef is behind us now, but its beauty remains inside the calm of the sea.
The final ocean horizon is still ahead, and its silence is becoming more beautiful with every frame. The ocean's final wonder is not a single sight, but the feeling of life becoming peaceful. The ocean grows quieter with every frame, and its silence begins to feel like a final gift.
The final horizon is nearly within reach, and the ocean is slowing into its deepest peace.
The fish move gently now, as if the whole sea is remembering the journey.
The ocean slows into its deepest peace, where every current feels gentle and every life moves softly.
The reef returns softly, not to astonish us, but to remind us that peace is also full of life.
The fish drift without urgency, as if the sea has taught them the meaning of stillness. Every small movement in the sea now feels slower, softer, and more complete. The reef appears softly again, carrying the last colors of the journey inside the calm.
The turtle appears once more, carrying the quiet patience of the ocean through the final light.
In this final reef light, even the smallest movements feel complete.
There is no rush in this final ocean path, only calm movement and endless blue. The turtle moves through the last golden water, like a memory of the ocean itself.
Above, below, and all around us, the sea settles into one quiet harmony.
The turtle carries the last glow of the reef toward the open silence ahead. The sea holds every layer in balance, from the quiet shadows above to the soft lights below.
The ocean's peace is not silence alone. It is life moving gently through light.
The final horizon is waiting in warm light, and the ocean is carrying us closer with every quiet frame.
The final horizon glows ahead, and the ocean carries every quiet frame into deeper peace.
The fish move gently through the sea, as if each one is part of the ocean's final breath. The reef glows softly below, holding the last colors of the journey in calm water. Every small movement feels complete now, as though the sea is remembering all it has shown us.
The turtle moves through the final light, steady, ancient, and completely at peace. The turtle leaves the reef behind, carrying its quiet beauty into the endless blue. The ocean holds every layer together now, with shadow, light, and life moving in one calm rhythm. The reef is gone from view, but its color remains inside the stillness of the sea. The ocean's final calm is alive with small movements, each one softened by the golden light. The horizon is almost open now, and the ocean is guiding us toward its final peaceful light. The final peaceful light opens ahead, and the ocean carries every living shape into calm. The fish move softly now, each small turn becoming part of the ocean's final breath. The reef appears like a final memory, glowing quietly before the journey leaves it behind. Every small reef motion feels complete, as if the sea is closing the circle with grace. The turtle returns in the last glow, carrying the quiet heart of the reef into the open sea. The turtle leaves the reef gently, and the ocean opens into a silence filled with life. Every layer of the ocean settles into one calm rhythm, from distant shadows to soft, living light. The reef is now a memory, but the calm it gave us continues through the sea. The ocean's final light is gentle, and every creature moves within it like a quiet blessing. The final peaceful light is almost here, and the ocean is ready to carry us into its last quiet horizon. The last quiet horizon opens slowly, and the ocean carries every living movement into peace. The fish move as softly as breath, and the sea seems to hold them in perfect calm. The reef returns in a final whisper of color, reminding us that peace is still full of life. Every small movement now feels complete, as if the ocean is closing each circle with grace.
The turtle moves through the last colors of the reef, steady, ancient, and calm.
The turtle leaves the reef behind, carrying its quiet beauty into the endless blue. The ocean holds every layer in balance, from distant shadows to soft, living light.
The reef is gone from sight, but its color remains inside the stillness of the sea.
The final light of the ocean is gentle, and every creature moves within it like a quiet memory. The last quiet horizon is opening wider, and the ocean is carrying us toward its final stillness. The ocean carries us toward its final stillness, where every life moves as softly as light. The fish no longer race through the sea. They simply belong to the calm. The reef gives one more quiet glimpse of color before the ocean opens into endless blue. Each small movement feels like a farewell, soft enough to become part of the water. The turtle moves through the fading reef light, carrying the ocean's patience into the final blue. The turtle leaves color behind, but the calm it carries continues through the ocean. Far ahead, one gentle giant passes, like a memory of the ocean's vastness. The final light gathers every memory of the journey and softens it into peace. The final stillness is drawing closer, and the ocean is ready to reveal one last peaceful horizon. One last peaceful horizon opens ahead, and the ocean holds every memory of the journey in quiet light. The fish drift toward the horizon, carrying the calm of the sea forward without a sound. The reef appears like a memory beneath the ocean, glowing softly before it fades into blue. Every small fish moves as if closing a circle, soft, complete, and peaceful. The turtle moves through the fading reef light, carrying the ocean's patience toward the final horizon. The turtle leaves the reef behind, and the whole ocean seems to open around its quiet path. The sea holds every layer together now, from the soft lights below to the distant shadows above. The reef is gone from sight, but its color remains inside the stillness of the ocean. The ocean's final piece is made from every creature, every color, and every quiet movement we have followed. The last peaceful horizon is still opening, and the ocean is carrying us forward in golden silence.
The reef returns only as a soft memory now, glowing gently before the open blue takes over.
Every small motion feels like a farewell, but the ocean makes farewell feel peaceful. The turtle moves through the last glow of the reef, carrying calm into the endless water ahead. Ahead of the turtle, the horizon opens wider, and the sea becomes a calm road of light. The ocean holds every layer in balance, as if all life has learned the same quiet rhythm. The reef is gone from sight, but its peace remains inside the golden water. The final ocean light feels gentle because it carries every color we have seen before. The golden silence continues, and the ocean is still guiding us toward its final peaceful horizon. The final peaceful horizon draws nearer, and the ocean holds every movement in quiet golden light. The fish drift without urgency, carried by a current that feels almost like stillness. The reef appears like a quiet echo, reminding us that every color came from a living world. Each small fish turns softly, as if the ocean is closing the journey with grace. And the turtle carries the last memory of the reef toward the open peace ahead. Ahead, the sea opens like a calm road of light, and every life moves gently along it. The ocean holds its final layers together, shadow above, light below, and life between them. The reef is gone from view, but its peace remains inside the golden water. The ocean's final light carries the memory of every current, every color, and every quiet life. The final peaceful horizon remains ahead, and the ocean is carrying us forward in one long breath of light. The final horizon is almost here, and the ocean carries every memory of this journey into peace. The fish drift forward without fear, as if the whole sea has become one calm breath. The reef returns for one final moment, a soft reminder of color, shelter, and life. Every small movement feels complete now, as if the ocean is closing its story with grace. The turtle carries the last glow of the reef toward the open sea, steady and timeless. The reef fades behind us, but the ocean keeps its beauty alive in every quiet path ahead. From the reef to the deep, from giants to tiny fish, every layer of the sea has led us here. The ocean is vast, but in this final light, it feels gentle, connected, and alive. This journey ends not with darkness, but with calm light moving through the living ocean. Our 8K ocean adventure ends here, in peace, where the sea remains endless, alive, and quietly beautiful.
Reefs are cities built by living organisms. Color here is not decoration. It is survival. Every cleaning station is a small agreement between species. The reef changes with every hour of light. Thousands of lives share the same fragile architecture.